We all know that the MX-5 is an icon. Well, the Miata is an icon, but this is still a Miata. Even though it says MX-5, still a Miata. And I never really considered this at the top of my list for sports cars. But after driving this week, I have been so impressed that I think it might go to the top of my list, especially since it's a convertible. Now, would I put it at the very top of my list? No. It's gonna be behind the LC500 as a convertible, but it is awesome. You're gonna love driving this thing, and they did give it a little bit of a refresh for this year, and we're gonna talk about that right now. Okay, so they just made a little refresh for this year, and not that you could probably even tell. I'm going to back up here. I'm going to put last year's model next to this year's model in your picture so you can see the differences, or maybe not see the differences. I'm not sure, but I'm going to run through them real quick. So you do have new headlights. You have a new grille. You have a new wheel option, which I do really like these. I think they're okay. I know some people have said they didn't like them. I think they would be better all black, but I think that they're pretty cool. You also get this 8-inch infotainment screen, which is up from, I believe, a 7-inch last year. This is the 6-speed manual, and new for this year is a new limited slip differential. There's also a new steering rack, and they tweaked the suspension and power steering to make it an even better driving car. And then they also did a little bit with the taillights. But like I said, this is my first MX-5, and I don't really have a reference point on anything before that, but it does look awesome. This is a new color also called Aero Gray. Every MX-5 gets the 2.0 liter inline 4-cylinder with 181 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. Now, I did say this was enough power for this car because it's so light, but what if they put a little turbo on there? I mean, why not push it up to around 225, 230 horsepower? That would be fun and exciting. Next, you've got a 6-speed manual in this one. It goes 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. The turbo, you might cut that under 5. And fuel economy, 26 in the city, 34 on the highway for an average of 29 miles per gallon. Now, like I said, if they put a turbo on this, you might go down to that 26 that the city is, so you might have an average of 26. But wouldn't that be worth it? Okay, let's go take a look at the trunk, because everybody wants to see how big the trunk is. Everybody has asked me. No, they really haven't. But we're going to take a look at the trunk right now. There is no button on the back. There's no button on the inside that I could find. We might find it a little bit later as we're going through the inside. We found the button for the trunk. It is right underneath here with the hood latch. That's pretty easy. But it does have a button on the keys. We're going to hold that down, pops that trunk open. Now let's see how big this thing is. There you have it. You got about 4 cubic feet of space. Now, one thing I can tell you is it looks like it's deeper than the LC500. So that is a plus. You can get a little bit more groceries in this one, but still not massive. I don't think you're going to get your golf clubs in the back of there. So, all right, that's it for that. Now, how about I show you how easy it is to drop the top? So there are only 3 things that you need to do to drop this top, and you can do it in less than 30 seconds. But before we get to that, will you guys go down and hit the subscribe button? It really makes a big difference on getting these cars in here. So it helps me get more cars to bring to you guys, to show you all the cool things about them, and also helps spread this video out farther and farther. So hit that subscribe button, and now I'm going to tell you those 3 things. Number one is you press the button forward. Number two, you pull the lever down. And number three, you push it on back and you lock it in. Now, to get it back up, it takes even less time. Pop it right here, grab it, pull it forward, and then you just latch it down. Pretty simple, very, very quick. Okay, let's take a look at the interior on this thing. Now, it's not gonna make a whole lot of sense for me to climb in there and then try to show you everything because it's gonna be way too close. But we'll open the door here, and you do have your handle right there. Actually, I put my cell phone in there, really. I made it fit perfectly in there. You do have your window controls, your locks. This is leather right through here, kind of a camel color. Now, this is one thing that I have told everyone about that I love, and I think they should do this in all cars. This is body colored. I love that this is body colored. I know some people are like, well, I'd rather have a soft plastic or something in there, but why? This should match the exterior of your car every time. That just looks awesome. Don't have any powered seats in this, so you do have a bar to slide forward and backwards, and then this dial actually tilts and lowers the front of the seat. Then you have your backrest, which you can't really go back very far on this. These seats are really bolstered. They feel really, really good. Keep you tight and planted in there. All right, there's your steering wheel, regular Mazda steering wheel. You got your stereo and everything on the left side, and you got all your driver assist functions on the inside. In a minute, we'll go through the driver's display and the infotainment screen. But you go down here, and you can see you have these old school dials. Now, you do have an auto fan control, and you have an auto setting over here, and then your temperature control is just an analog thing. Nothing digital in here. I really do like that. It's pretty cool. Being digital here wouldn't be bad, but I like these old school buttons. This one does have heated seats. Also, you got two USB-C ports right there. This right here is not a wireless phone charging spot. It's just kind of a cubby hole. My phone wouldn't fit in there, but I'm sure some people with smaller phones than my Android would fit in there perfectly fine. Otherwise, it's a little extra storage area. This is your 6-speed manual transmission, and it is an easy shifting car. The clutch is very light, very easy to use, and the stick shift kind of rumbles when you're driving. It actually feels really good. Go back, and this does have Mazda's regular system in it. You have some hotkeys right here, and then you have the dial with a selector. And of course, we'll talk about it in a little bit. This is wireless, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay. It is touchscreen using those, but not using the Mazda system. All right, and then you have your volume button right there, and I love having that there. It's easy to do the volume while you're driving, no problem. And now our center console. This thing is kind of puny, but really, you're probably not going to be carrying a lot with you when you're driving one of these. So I've got a little phone mount in there, but that's about as big as it is. You can put a few little tiny items in there. Now, what are these, you might be asking? If you look over here, there's a cup holder on the passenger side. So if somebody's riding over here, this is probably not going to be the best place for this. So you can actually take this out. You can see it leaves a little hole there, but you can take it out, and you can move it back here and stick it down in here. And it locks right in there. And if you need two of them, guess what? Here is your lockable storage space. There is a second one in there, and you stick it down in there, and boom. Now you have two cup holders. That's awesome, isn't it? It's not in the best place because you're kind of having to reach around your body to get to it, but it's okay, I guess. So that's your storage that I just showed you right there. Kind of like that's your glove box, because you don't have a glove box in here. You do have a Bose stereo system. It sounds excellent. Now, if you flip these seats up, behind Bose seats, there are two more little storage spots right here. So this one has an umbrella in it. I don't know if that is a Mazda umbrella or if someone left it in here. but there's an umbrella. It's big enough for an umbrella. You have the same thing on the other side. Let's see if there's anything in this one. Okay, so it's all the farther that flips forward. Open it up and nope, nothing in that one. But you do have some storage. Let's get in. Let's take a look at this driver's display and the infotainment screen. Hopefully we don't get rained on. If we do, we just pull the top down because it only takes 2 seconds. There is your driver's display. Now, I think it looks awesome. There's just a little bit of information over here on this side that you can scroll through. So we can go up, you can hit the info button, and you can, there's a trip B, you have driver assistance, direction, trip A, trip B, driver assistance. That's really all you have here. Then you have the RPM gauge in the center and your speedometer over on this side. That's pretty much it, and nothing spectacular, but I think it's cool that they're all analog. It just makes me feel kind of nostalgic, like it's an older car than what it really is. And I think that's part of the tradition of the MX-5 Miata. Now we go over here, and this is just running Mazda's system that they put in everything right now. It works very well. You've got the dial down here that you can go through, and this does give you a fuel efficiency monitor, which we use when we do our mile per gallon test. So you've got your entertainment. You can switch between your phone and satellite radio or the radio. Communication is where you set your phone up. So we're already connected on that. I just have it too far away. Navigation. If you get an SD card that actually plugs in right here, then that will give you your navigation. You have to get that from your dealership. And then settings. So inside of our settings, you have the displays. You can change brightness and stuff like that on your displays. And then you have your sound settings for the Bose system. Safety settings. So it kind of just gives you your driver assistance system, so you can turn on, turn off all of the speed recognition, signs, limits, and whether you want alerts and assistance and all of those things. There's your safety alerts, collision avoidance. You've got driver attention alert, which is nice because you can turn that off if you don't want that thing beeping at you. And a pedal misuse alert, so don't push the brake and the gas at the same time. Inside the vehicle settings, this is where you can set up your doors to lock and unlock, and Mazda has a walk-away system, so if you get out of the car and you start to walk away, it will automatically lock itself if that's the way you want that to work. Exterior lighting, just kind of set up your lights on the outside, how soon you want them to turn on and off. You do have automatic high beams on here also. Interior lighting is, just when you open your door. And then rain sensing wipers are nice. Turn signals, you can actually turn the volume of the turn signals up and down. They've got low and high. I really can't tell a whole lot of difference between the two of them, to be honest. And then your connectivity, so you can hook up your phone and all that stuff there. Alexa, so you can use Alexa on here, which is pretty cool. And then system settings. So this is going to give you your software settings and all of that type of stuff. Voice recognition, temperature, distance, speed. You can just change all of that if you want to. So we go back to home, and my Android Auto is not connected, but if you see over here, you will click. You just push up on the toggle down here, and that will take you to Android Auto. You pull down, and that goes to Apple CarPlay. Well, there's not much in here to show you. I think the biggest problem in here is the cup holder situation, because if you can't put them behind you. You have to have one up here, and either the passenger is going to be annoyed by your drink being in their way in this small car, or you just don't get to have a drink because it's really awkward to try to get something from back there. My suggestion maybe maybe if you are going to use these, is instead of putting your cup on this side and their cup on that side, you put yours on this side, because it's a lot easier for you to reach over and grab this than it is to try to grab this one back here behind your shoulder. So you put yours here, they put theirs here, and then neither one of you have to try to wedge yourself around and move around to try to get to this cup holder right back here. So that is my tip and my suggestion in this car. That's it. Let's hear about the pricing for this, because it is one of the most affordable sports cars and pure drivers cars that you can buy. So let's go hear about the pricing, and then we're going to take this out on a drive, maybe before it rains, hopefully. I said this was affordable. I said it was one of the most affordable sports cars that you can buy and pure driving cars that you can buy. And I'm going to tell you how cheap they actually are. So your MX-5 Sport, which is the base model, is going to start out at $28,985. Isn't that awesome? That is an incredible, incredible price. The Grand Touring, which is what this one is going to be starting at $34,285. And that is still a great price. Now, there were a few options added on here. Not a lot, just a couple. And with the destination fee, this one, as tested, sitting here right in front of you, you can buy this one for $36,200. Is that an amazing price? Would you pay $36,000 for this car? I would if I could afford it. It is pretty awesome and definitely worth it. Now, let's go take this for a drive before it rains. All right, guys, let's go for a drive. Be a little windy, but you got a convertible, you got to put the top down, even if it's about to rain. So I just got to talk a little bit louder, use some audio to help take care of some of this wind noise. But this thing is a lot of fun. You get that nice stiff suspension because, you know, you need it in a sports car. And I have not had any issues with this, with driving it. Shifting and everything is really easy, really comfortable. Even if you haven't driven a stick in a while, you won't have any problem shifting this at all. The only thing that I have noticed that's kind of a pain is the strap. Your seat belt, the way that it comes across from the seat, it goes right into the corner of my neck, right where my collarbone and my neck meet, and that is a little awkward for me, and it kind of rubs on my neck, so I keep having to pull my shirt up just to get that covered so it doesn't rub my neck raw. So that is something that if I was going to own one of these, I would have to find a fix for that. And no, the fix is not to get the little clip that goes into the bottom here so you don't have to wear it. That is not that is not how you fix that. I actually don't feel a lot of wind. It actually feels really good in here. There's a little bit blowing on my head, but it's not beating me around like a lot of airflow in here. So that is a good plus. If you're gonna have a convertible, you want to be able to drive it with the top down without getting a headache because the wind is beating you around so much. And this doesn't do that. It's really nice. Good screen upgrade from what the smaller screen was from the previous years, because anytime you go a little bit bigger, that's great. You can't go too much bigger in here because everything is small in here. You get too big, it's going to take over the entire dash. So they did a good job, good size, and the infotainment system that they use works really well. It just takes a little bit of getting used to with the dial, but I haven't had any problem with the Mazdas that I've been driving. I adapt to it really quickly, and it's really easy to use, especially while you're driving. Volume control back here is great. These cup holders, I just left the one in here, and yeah, it's irritating the crap out of my arm because every time I go to do anything shift, I'm hitting my arm on the cup holder back here. So that's kind of pointless. I would never put that cup holder in back there unless I absolutely had to. We're going to do a quick turnaround and take off in the other direction. And we'll see if we can get in a 0 to 60. If I get turned around here quick enough before a car comes. And all right, get ready. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. There you go. I had somebody coming up behind me, so I didn't run those RPMs all the way out, as you probably could tell. But it was pretty interesting though. Sounds really good. The engine just sounds smooth. For a 4-cylinder, it sounds smooth, and it just, the vibrations coming through the gear shifter and everything, it just feels great. So that's why they say it's a driver's car, because it makes you feel good when you're driving it. Well, I've shown you all the cool things, how easy it is to put the top, and so I've shown you how easy everything is in here, to put the top down, put the top up, how easy it is to drive. It's just a blast. I really think you should go out and test drive one as soon as you possibly can, because at $36,000 decked out, you can't get a better deal than this. After you hit the subscribe button, click on one of the videos that's up on the screen right now. One of them is one that I chose for you. The other one YouTube chose for you. And I think you're going to like them both. So make sure that you click on one. And I'll see you in that next video. Woohoo!